Alright, so irregular shapes. I started off with a horizontal line. I have a vanishing point. Because I'm going to make some sort of crazy shape with my triangle. I don't have to worry about lining it up with the vanishing point. I'm just taking my triangle and making some weird, crazy, angular shape. Now eventually what you could do is make letters of your name or things like that and put it in perspective. So if you want a challenge, which isn't much of a challenge, you can make your name, you can do alphabet letters, but I'm just going to start off with that kind of crazy shape. So, I'm sorry, what?
You want us to make a shape?
Yeah, so make some sort of crazy shape. You can follow along, you can watch. I'll do one more, so if you just want to watch the first one, that's great. If you want to just follow along with me, that's great. Your shape does not have to look like my shape. It just has to be some kind of crazy weird shape, some angular shape. We are no longer doing boxes in this lesson. So, we are going to connect the points of my shape to the vanishing point. Again, if I took something, like if I took this bottom point and I connected it with the vanishing point, it goes through the face of my shape. So I'm not going to do that one. I'm only going to connect the little points that don't go through my shape. So I'm going to connect this one to the vanishing point. I'm going to connect this one to the vanishing point. And if you're unsure, line it up. So I'm going to look at this little point here. It goes through the face of my shape, so I'm not going to do that one. This little pointy area right here, it goes through the face of my shape, so I'm not going to do that one at all either. So really, I only have one side. Everybody's is going to be different. So again, you need to connect, or try to connect, all the points to the vanishing point. If they go through the face, don't draw them. Okay. So if you want to make a short little note to yourself, this is where most people have problems. When you cut off your box, make a note on your paper somewhere. When you cut off your box, you are going to use parallel lines. So you're going to use parallel lines. How we do that here in 1 point perspective, and how we do this easily, this is my little easy like cheating trick, is I line up my triangle with that little line. So you can see it, I line it up. And to cut off my box, I can cut it off anywhere, but I'm going to carefully take my triangle and move it slightly up so that it is parallel, meaning the lines will never touch each other. And that's how I'm going to cut off my box right there. And then I'm going to erase all my excess lines real quick. So this is one irregular shape. I'm going to show you a different kind of shape. So again, if you were following along the first time and just watching, that's fine. If you were doing your own thing and you've got this, go ahead and start. Just know if you look up on the board, you need 2 shapes above, 2 shapes on, and 2 shapes below the horizon line. So if you got this and you get it, you can go ahead and move on. If you don't, I'm going to do a different shape. So to start my irregular shapes, I just take my triangle and I make some weird, wonky, crazy shape using the edge of my triangle. It doesn't matter what kind of shape you make as long as you use your triangle. Maybe this time I'm gonna cut this in. So I'm just making a weird funky shape right now. And you can always do letters or things like that. This one I'm making a little more complex, so you can see. So, I have my weird, crazy shape going on. Once I have my crazy shape, I'm going to connect every single little point. Anything that comes to a point, I'm going to try to connect that to my vanishing point. Again, if it goes through the face, I'm not going to draw as of right now. So take my triangle, and I'm going to just connect all of those to the vanishing point. And I don't expect you guys to get this on your first try. So I'm going to connect everything to the vanishing point. This one right here, it doesn't go through my face, but I'm going to connect it to my vanishing point. It's really in there. Connect this one to my vanishing point. And this takes very little artistic skill. Take your time on this. You'll have plenty of time. I'm going to take these ones to my vanishing point. Now, when I get to this top one here, I notice that part of it goes through my face, part of it doesn't go through my face. So again, if you look at this up here, I have this point going to the vanishing point. Part of it goes through my face, part of it doesn't. What I'm going to do is take it down, but I'm not going to go through my face. So again, if you're looking up here, I have my point. I'm only going to take it down to here. I'm not going to go through my face because I don't want to ruin it. I'm going to line it up over here. It goes through my face, so I'm not going to do that one, and I'm not going to do that one. So I have this weird, crazy shape. And again, when you cut off your box, hopefully you made the note already, that you need to make a parallel line to cut off all sides of the box. So again, the trick to cut off your box is to line up your triangle to the edge and then just move it down slightly and try to keep a parallel line. So I'm going to cut off my box there, line it up to the edge, move it down a little bit. I'm going to move it back up a little bit. And it's up to you where you cut off the box, but if you have two edges that connect, make sure they line up. If it looks weird, it probably is wrong, so make sure you make adjustments. Again, line it up to the edge, move it down. I'm going to make sure this one connects with the other side. And the last side. So again, line it up to the edge, move it on down, and cut my box off. At this point, I can erase all my excess lines because I don't need them. And hopefully you guys are getting in the habit of drawing much, much lighter than you're used to. So I'm going to erase all these because I don't need them anymore. And I have my weird, crazy shape. So again, if you get this, you guys can move on. Just know that you have 2 above, 2 on, and 2 below. I'm going to do one more box on the horizon line so you can see what's going on. So a box on the horizon line, you do it the same way as you've done the first 2 boxes. And again, I make some weird, crazy, funky shape. Let's see. Just using my triangle. When you're making these weird shapes, you don't have to worry about it lining up to the vanishing point. You're just making angles with your triangle. So weird, crazy shapes. If it goes through the horizon line, you're okay. And again, if you want to try out words, great. But you don't have to for this one. So I got this weird, crazy shape going on. All right. Weird, crazy shape. I can erase that horizon line that goes through the face of my shape. And then I just do the same thing. I connect every single point to the vanishing point. If it goes through the face, I'm not going to draw it. So I'm going to connect everything to the vanishing point, all the points. If it looks like a side's missing, usually it's because the side's missing. So make sure you get all of them. So I'm going to connect all these points. If it's distracting to you, you can always erase your horizon line if it's messing with your sight. Connecting all the vanishing point, or all the points to the vanishing point. Again, take your time. You might be behind a little bit, and that's okay. Take it up here, line it up, go to the vanishing point. And then this top one here, part of it goes through the face, part of it doesn't. I'm just going to draw that little sliver right there. And then I'm going to check my last point. It goes through my face, so I'm not going to draw that. Same thing with there. So I have my shape. Again, I'm going to cut off my shape. So again, when I cut off my shape, I'm going to use a parallel line. So I'm going to line up my triangle once again. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing for this shape. Let's see. Zoom in if I can. Nope, not going to let me. So to cut off my shape, I line the edge of my triangle up to my edge of my face. And I'm just going to move it a little bit and create that parallel line. And I'm going to do that for every single side that I see. So take it to the edge, move it up a little bit, match it up with the other sides. Same thing up here. Line it up to the edge, move it over, connect it with the other side. And then same thing back here. This is the funky sliver. I'm going to still do the same thing. Line it up to the edge, move it back a little bit. And usually for me, all my sides are about the same width. If you're a beginner, I would highly suggest that you just try to make them all the same width. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. I'm not going to take a measuring tool and measure to see if they're all the same. I'm just eyeballing it to see if they're similar. So I'm going to erase all the excess lines. Erase this one. And your erasers, I know that they're probably running out. I have extra erasers if you need them. So I have 1, 2, and 3 up here. You guys are going to need 2 above, 2 below, and 2 on the horizon line. So again, if you're not here yet, look at what step you're on, work on that step today, and then slowly catch up.